Welcome back to Go Again Gaming, and welcome back to round two of the league. That means absolutely nothing here. Um, just because it means nothing doesn't mean it's over nothing. We are fighting for glory here, and I am your voice of the league. That means nothing, Ian Holland. You are in for a treat today. We have Andrew Mason on Dashio taking on Carlotta Fernandez, our League One champion, on Azalea Ace in the hole, rather than tryharding this time. She's rocking the sandscour greatbow, and Andrew's waiting on the rest of his cards in the post, so he is rocking some suboptimal choices. But hey, we have a team kill here, a team turd face off in round two. Who's going to take it down? Red in the Ledger is a big deal against Dashio, but Dashio is a powerful hero with powerful hero text and very strong cards in the deck. So let's throw it over to the gameplay and see who comes out on top.
The league that means nothing is brought to you in part by the Sigillit Games. Go and check them out on Etsy. This is one of the altars that you can come to expect from the Sigillit Games. Shiny foil treatment to the back of Flesh and Blood cards to really spice up your battlefield. Make sure you go and check them out when you can and use the code GAG4ALTS to get 10% off your order. Cheers, Toby. Let's get back to the tournament.
Okay, so we've got our fist bump, and we have Andrew going first, playing a backup protocol red. We are cranking said backup protocol. That one's coming from hand, and then we're going to send in a fast and furious. Boosting a T-bomb. Be very surprised if Carlotta does not block this one. As 4 comes in. Fast and Furious obviously getting +1 because cranking has occurred. And, Andrew not cheating there, by the way, taking a look, just taking a peek. You're allowed to take a peek. Dashio says so. As long as you have priority, you can take a peek. Putting that counter on his symbiosis shot in a slightly missed trigger, but look, it just happens that way. And now Carlotta going to block 5 on this Fast and Furious. Gonna close the combat chain here for Andrew. See if he decides to crack that backup protocol, buying back the same Fast and Furious. Or, no, pitching the yellow boom grenade, cracking that, getting the same backup protocol. Using the backup protocol, getting the same Fast and Furious. We're going to Fast and Furious again for 4. 4 go again. Taking a peek. Surprised not to see the activation of the chest piece there, but we're going to block for 3 on this one, taking a point of damage. The chest would have allowed for the to dig slightly even further for an item. Now, is Andrew going to use that go again and send the pistol shot, or no? He is going to play a cerebellum processor. Very interesting. Let's see if we do crank it. We get our counter on our gun, and we can use this processor now to draw a card and have an arsenal, which it looks like is exactly what's about to happen. So let's see what Carlotta is going to do with her first turn here. So it looks like we're going to start by pitching a Merkmar grapple to the sandscour greatbow, looking at the top card of our deck. So we may put an arrow from the top of your deck or from your hand face up into the arsenal. Now, if it's a card from your deck, it gets an aim counter. And we do, in fact, have an infecting shot, a red infecting shot. So that comes in with an aim counter. We're going to play a Memorial Ground, put Remorseless back on top, and then our Azalea text will allow us to flip in Dominated Remorseless. It's not too bad. And I can see why no aim counter was put on, because Carlotta knew that one was going away. So I wonder, is this aim counter going to do anything, though? Surprised to see Carlotta rocking the gloves, the long draw half glove. And we're going to bump it up by another 6 points. So we're going to send in a Remorseless with a Blood Rod attached. No defense reactions from Arsenal, not that Dashio plays any. And it's going to come in for 11 with Dominate. On hit, Andrew loses a life for every action card he plays, which, when you're playing Dashio, is usually a lot of action cards. Could have been something to be said for Carlotta taking an extra couple points of damage there to turn off the Arcanite Skullcap that Andrew is rocking, and also hang on to the Deadeye, which would have been busted here. So we have our Blood Rod attached Remorseless. Pretty good. Pretty solid turn. Now let's see what we do here. Andrew doing some math here. How much damage am I going to take? Am I going to take 11 and then take another like 5 or 6 points of damage to do everything I want to do? I've been there, brother. Facing down many an Azalea in my time. Occasionally killing through a Remorseless. That's all good fun. It looks like Andrew is just going like, yeah, send me the bill. I'll take 11 and a Blood Rot. Who cares? Remorseless and a Blood Rot, using that lovely Go Again Gaming token, and then the more regular Blood Rot Pox. Pretty good first turn for Carlotta, dealing 11 to possibly 18 damage this turn. Andrew removing the steam counter from his cerebellum processor as Carlotta draws up. Now, let's see how Andrew decides to play this one. We're going to start with an outpace. This is coming in for 4. We're going to boosting a T-bone, so it's 4 go again. Can't be defended by equipment. Somehow I doubt Carlotta is going to be defending this by equipment, so we're going to take 1. We're going to go to 24 here, which is a pretty good start for a turn. I'd be very surprised to see Carlotta block. Azalea doesn't famously not a blocker. Not really a blocker. Send in a boom grenade if you got one, Andrew. Yeah, Carlotta says, yeah, take 4. Who cares? No big deal here. Yeah, we're going to follow that up with a sprocket rocket. This is coming in for at least 3. If we boosting a 0 to 60. So it's actually going to stay 3. Going to be go again. We're going to go to 23. So far, Remarkable having done 13 points of damage. And Carlotta just taking the 3 again. No boom grenade on top by the looks of things. And that's a zipper hit, taking another point of damage. Banishing. Oh, banishing a Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious' other text allowing Andrew to put a Steam counter on his cerebellum processor. So this is 5 go again, going to 21. Is it? 22. Started the turn at 25, taking 3 points of damage. And Carlotta not blocking this one by the looks of things. Well, this is indeed Fast and Furious, and I don't know if this game is going to go long, as both players are swinging haymakers and not paying a huge amount of attention to it. And there we have Andrew sending in another card, a Pulse Wave Harpoon, coming in for 4. When this attacks a hero, he's taking 1, going to 21, boosting. So this is 4. Carlotta has to reveal her entire hand here. And Andrew can take any single card from it as long as it blocks 4 or less. Carlotta revealing 2 arrows, a knock the death whistle, and a lace with inertia. Now, I would imagine Andrew is going to consider taking that red in the ledger, because that would be a problem. But so far, Carlotta has taken 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. Yeah, blocking with the red in the ledger. Be very surprised if we don't block with that long draw half glove as well, just to get 1 block out of it and make sure we're not taking anything, knowing that Andrew has a single card left. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No cards left. Taking 1 point here from Pulse Wave Harpoon. Having taken 12, 13 damage in order to have dealt 11, 50. Yeah, having dealt a total of like 7, at least 15, if not 17 damage this turn seems like a pretty good trade if you are Azalea Ace in the hole. So Andrew going to draw with his processor, take the 2 points from the Blood Rot, go to 19. And Carlotta left with a buff and an arrow in hand, along with our knock the death whistle. So we're going to tick up the tunic. Imagine we're going to load that Blood Rot, lace, infecting shot. No, are we playing a knock the death whistle? Ooh, I don't know about this one now. Oh, a stone rain. I see that. I see you, Carlotta. Getting a stone ring. But without the resources. Oh, also a good one. Getting the immobilizing shot, I believe it's called. Yes, so if on hit, Andrew would only be able to play one action and one non action. So that will go to the top. If it has an aim counter, of course, that's where that text comes from. But luckily, sandscour greatbow says anytime a card comes in from your deck. Yeah, Carlotta gesturing that it is a mini red in the ledger. So we're going to send in 8 dominate, 7 dominate with our unhits now. Andrew can obviously full block this one with a card plus armor. And I imagine, as Dashio likes to take a lot of game actions, that it's a good chance that we see this one full blocked here. So it looks like we're blocking with a heist or Arcanite Skullcap and our Teklo Foundry Heart. So that is a block of 7. Still keeping 2 block of armor available. Plus our arm piece, that name I can't remember because I've never seen it played other than in the league. That means absolutely nothing. Removing the steam counter from Cerebellum Processor again. Now let's see how Andrew decides to play out this turn. Going to start with a yellow, 0 to 60. 3. Bet we're boosting, and in fact we are boosting an outpace. Not a lot of items been on the top of this deck. I'd be very surprised to see this one get blocked anyway. This is only a 3. Yeah. Carlotta just taking 3 here, going to 23. Andrew closing the combat chain here. Let's see. And there we have a Spark of Genius. Probably getting a crank item here to keep this fun going. Yep, getting a backup protocol. So we're going to draw a card from Spark. We're going to crank that backup protocol. We're going to add a counter to our symbiosis shot. And we're just going to have a good time all around if you're Dashio. So we're going to add that counter. We're going to crank that Soldier Boy, and then we're going to draw for Spark of Genius. Not bad. The fun may continue. Pitching a Technocore, we're going to crack this backup protocol. I imagine we're getting a 0 cost here. Looks like we might be setting up for some kind of maximum velocity turn. Unless Andrew has other ideas and is just looking to present maximum damage here. Yeah, we're grabbing a zipper hit to hand. We're going to look before we do anything. Always look before you leap. Because otherwise, as my friend Connor is one to say, you lack critical information. We're going to activate Foundry Heart, banish 2 cards. Obviously, we're Dashio, they are mechanologist cards, so we're going to go from 1 resource to 2. And let's see what we have with our remaining cards in hand. Going to start with a zipper hit, coming in for 5, boosting, I imagine. Yep, boosting a heist. 5 go again. I'd be very surprised if Carlotta is blocking. Generally speaking, when Azalea only has 5 cards in hand, 4 cards in hand, no arsenal, it'd be very rare to see them blocking. Yeah, again, we're closing the combat chain, playing a signal jammer. So Azalea only gets 1 buff a turn. So that's not too bad. If you're Andrew, that's not too bad. So we have 2 turns with this, but we're also taking kind of an IP here. So we're going to use our tunic here on Carlotta's side to activate the sandscour greatbow. Take a look. And we're going to load a red in the ledger from hand. So no aim counter. Now we get one buff out of this. So the red in the ledger will be for 8 if we have the buff. Or it could be 7 if we have a sneaky oh, we do also have the glove. Oh, but we don't have the resources, of course. Anyway, we're going to read the glide path. We're going to opt 1. We get our +3. Carlotta obviously knows what's on top of the deck, so isn't even bothering to resolve the opt. Pitching a Heatseeker to send in red in the ledger for 8. Now, this is a card that Andrew has to respect. So 8 coming in here. Andrew got no block on the skull cap right now. So we're going to block 3. Block with the arm piece, which I think is a 1 block. Could be a 2 block. Yes, heavy industry ram stop is 1 block. You may pay 1 to give it a +1. So we're going to pay 1 to make it block 2. So we're currently blocking 5. So we need 1 more card to prevent this red in the ledger from really crushing Andrew's turn into the absolute dirt. And yeah, we're going to block with a T-bone. So we're blocking for a total of 8 here. Using up, we get to keep our heavy industry ram stop. In order to block with it again, obviously would require to pay a resource. And it looks like we're going to activate Dashio still. It's going to be a fairly medium turn here for Andrew, I imagine, with just 1 card in hand, 1 card in arsenal. But hey, we get to keep our signal jammer around for 1 more turn. Kind shuts Carlotta out. Our skull cap is still turned off. So, card in hand, card in arsenal, access to whatever is on top of the deck as long as it is an item. Let us see what Andrew Mason has planned. Something like a Techlocore or a Cerebellum processor would be ideal here, and it is in fact the Techlocore. I am a prophet. I know exactly what the worst thing for any given player to see is, and hey, sometimes you just call your shot, speak it into existence. I am just the GOAT. There's a reason I'm on commentary, and it's not because I come cheap. But problem here is, obviously, Azalea is going to struggle to use all the cards in her hand, thanks to the signal jammer preventing multiple non-attack actions being played. So, let us see what Carlotta has. But that looks like an instant. I think I've seen that incident once or twice before. It is, in fact, a memorial ground. So we are going to pop that Rend the Ledger back on top. Carlotta, don't mess around. Don't look at the graveyard. We know what it is. It's going to be Rend the Ledger. Stop it. Stop it. Really? Yeah. Might get liar. Uh, so Rend the Ledger to the top of the deck. Now let's see what we do here. We have an activation of Azalea. Don't care what the card in Arsenal is, it's gone. We have Rend the Ledger in play now. We have a Release the Tension, and we can only play that buff. So what are we pitching? Pitching a Murkmire Grapple and sending in an 8 Dominate Rend the Ledger. Now, Andrew does not have the ability to block this. It's just not possible. So those 2 resources from the first Tekla core might not really be doing a whole lot. So the real question is Andrew going to use up his last vestiges of his armor here? Looks like we might be doing just that. That makes total sense to me, getting that boom grenade out of hand, knowing you're going to be stuck with cards in hand next turn. So we are red in the ledger. The signature card of Azalea Ace in the Hole has landed and is going to be shutting down Dashio's turn in a big way. That signal jammer is going to go away, so Azalea is now going to have some serious power going forward from this turn, unless Andrew happens to have another signal jammer. Tekla core ticking down, generating 2 resources. Not really a whole lot we get to do with them. We don't get to play items off the top. We don't get to do any fun things. We get to do one thing. So we are going to boost a maximum velocity, baby. Sending in 4. It has go again. It does not matter that it has go again. We don't get to do anything. Be very surprised to see Carlotta block 4 here, unless there's cards that she just can't use. I block personally with the long draw half glove because you never know, we might want to get some use out of it. Unless she has some D-reacts or something, but God forbid D-reacts in Azalea. Nope, we're going to Fate for seeing that one. We're going to block 4. No hits. We get to opt 1 as well. Opting that one to the bottom. No interest. And Andrew just going to pass the turn here as Carlotta gets her 4-card hand, taking up Tunic to 2. Now let's see what the Ace in the Hole, the master of Azalea from the League That Means Nothing Season 1 can do. Well, we're going to start with a Read the Glide Path, which is a good start. Maybe tells me we're missing an arrow. Or we're really looking for something to dominate here. I'm going to pitch a Fate for Scene into the sandscour greatbow. putting an infecting shot in straight in. We're going to activate Azalea. We are flipping an arrow. It's going to be a dominated one. It's going to be a stone rain. Ooh. It's a big one. Do we have another buff? So Stone Rain now has an aim counter and gets to take a card straight out of Dashio's hand. And we're going to send in a dominated Stone Rain for 10 points of damage. With the aim counter, it has Dominate. When it hits a hero, they banish a card face down from their hand. At the beginning of their next end phase, they return it to their hand. And we have a Seek and Destroy on hit. Yeah. So, what is Andrew going to do here? Probably get our last block out of our armor for 2, maybe block 5 of this damage, and then just try and crack back with as much as physically possible. So what? And Andrew just taking the full 10? Not even the armor? Yeah, sure. We have Seek and Destroy active. We are 1 card down. Let's see what we have coming up here for Andrew. Better be a big turn. Now we're going to get a Boom Grenade in. Cranking. Boom Grenade not coming in off the top, so we're not generating any additional action points. Andrew, forever missing your triggers. I'll judge you from afar, all the way over in Ireland. Telling you, man. But we are getting a cerebellum processor into play. We're generating an additional action point having used Dashio because we cranked it as an instant, but we should be at 1 resource here. So Andrew has decided to mat this one out into a very, very big turn. And look, he remembered. So we haven't even taken any game actions. No information has been gained. So we are at 5 counters on the gun. We have a boom grenade. We have a cerebellum processor that is primed to draw a card because we have the additional action point. We have 3 cards in hand. And we're going to lead with a Fast and the Furious. This is going to be coming out for 4 with a boom grenade chaser. So we're coming in for 4, threatening 8, boosting, a zipper hit. You want to be careful there, Andrew. You make sure you don't miss that last card that you are supposed to get back. And we're going to block 4 here using our New Horizons because we've no card in arsenal, so we've nothing to lose there. And our Perch Grapplers, which have flavor text. They have text. It is mostly flavor text in a deck that isn't Lexi Livewire. And even then, it was still mostly flavor text. Hmm. So we're going to use an action point to Foundry Heart, which is going to banish the top two cards, Zipper Hit and a Cerebellum Processor, gain us 2 resources, and the Go Again will make sure we retain that second action point. I imagine Andrew is currently digging for a better card to draw, as well as make sure he has the resources to play it. Excuse me. Thinking about Cerebellum? Yes, we're going to activate our Cerebellum processor. Still wild to me that it does not consume Steam counters to draw cards. Yeah, using the 2 resources, sending in a throttle for 4, another 4 with a boom grenade chase. Damage that could very easily be prevented here. 2 cards in hand, so we know there's no maximum velocity coming at the end of this. Carlotta just electing to let it all happen. Couldn't cover up all that damage anyway. And then Andrew going to send in a heist. Do we have any items in the banish zone? Or is this a blank piece of cardboard? Boosting. A zipper hit. So Carlotta just going to block 5 here on this heist, staying at 10 life. Andrew out of cards in hand. Got 2 maximum shots on that symbiosis. Probably just going to send in 2. Carlotta, I assume, not blocking that. And Heatseeker, good card to block with, more of a liability most of the time. Heatseeker, big liability when you have no um, New Horizons. Because if you flip an arrow, you better be happy enough to play that arrow. Okay, all closed up. We are at 5 to 8. Andrew Arsling drawing up. Funnily enough, as turn player gets to ignore that seek and destroy effect thanks to Stone Rain banishing the card from hand. We're going to pitch a Ridge Rider shot. Obviously, activate the bow. Leaving the card on, looking at the card. The card on top is not the one that's going in. The card in hand is a Hemorrhage Boar, which is a Command and Conquer at home if it has a name counter, which obviously right now it does not. Now we're just going to send in Hemorrhage Boar for 5 if it has a name counter. On hit, destroy an arsenal, but it is lethal damage. Andrew is forced to block at the very least with his equipment, but I don't think that is the turn that Carlotta was hoping to have here with 2 arrows, no buff played. So quite the tricky one here for our ace in the hole. Is Andrew just going to block with a card? Oh my god, he is. He's blocking. He's making sure he doesn't get Rain Razors out of the game. Uh, if you were Andrew here, you probably block with your equipment as well. Cover the full 5 points of damage. Because I don't think. Uh, and oh my god, Carlotta, it's not often in Flesh and Blood that I am stunned to silence, but that is a Rain Razors. So that is 8 damage. Andrew, fortunately, has chosen to block 4 and is going to go to 1. Okay. My mind's a little bit blown from that one. Was not expecting that one at all. Wow. A lot of drawing up, passing. Yeah. Now, Andrew got a cerebellum, got a boom grenade, red boom grenade too. That's a pretty good one. We cranking that. For the kids out there watching, Soldier Boy was a terrible rapper back in the day. So any references I make, I apologize deeply. So we're going to send in a 060 boosting, coming in for 3. Andrew should have 2 cards left in hand after this. So let's see what he decides to do with them. We have a Dashio activation still available. We have Achilles Accelerator now live that we've boosted, which would allow us to gain an action point and draw a card using Cerebellum. So we're going to block 3 with this Infecting Shot, covering up our yellow 0 to 60. We're going to Dashio, putting in a red backup protocol. This will be the 3rd red backup protocol. And we're going to pitch a yellow boom grenade for that, floating 1 resource. So we are able, in fact, to crack use our Teklo Foundry Heart to turn that 1 resources we have left into 2, which is enough to buy something back. So we are going to close the combat chain. Which I feel like means we're going to activate that Tekla Foundry Heart. Having a big think here, Andrew may choose to draw first, depending on what that top card of his deck is. Yeah, we're going to activate that Foundry Heart. I appreciate the moving one dice to the dice to one and then back to two, Andrew, but we all know, and small things like that can actually, in big tournaments, save you an awful lot of time. So we have two resources here, which will allow us to use our backup protocol. Boosting in a zipper hit, coming in for 5 with a red boom grenade attached. So are we going to be seeing a full block here, or knowing Andrew has access to at least 2 more cards this game? Oh no, he has no cards in hand. So realistically, we have access to a card with our cerebellum, and we have up to 3 pistol shots here. So realistically, here we are forced into blocking, because if we don't, mathematically, the pistol alone is 6 points of damage. Oh, tough position to be in for Carlotta. But better to be preventing something like 8 points of damage here, yeah. Full block here on this zipper hit using an arrow and a knock the death whistle. So what are we going to do here? If we, Andrew, I imagine we're going to draw with this cerebellum, or are we just going to attempt to put Carlotta to 2? We are drawing with cerebellum. Draws us a card. If it is a yellow or a blue, it allows us to crack the backup protocol red. It is a red, but it doesn't matter because now we can grab a Fast and Furious, and we have cranked this turn, so we are going to be able to represent 5 points of damage, or red zip 0 to 60, same deal. And Carlotta with a Memorial Ground in hand means the game is over officially. She cannot block, she cannot prevent any of this damage, and is going to go to 0 after putting her opponent to 1. Whew. This has been a tough league for our champion, our former champion, our first time champion. But I have to believe she'll come back better and stronger than ever, because you do not become the ace in the hole. You do not become the queen of the league that means nothing without a little bit of resilience. But big congratulations to Andrew. It's really good to see your time in the league paying off and your games are starting to really start to go your way. And I hope that continues in the next round. Great game to both players, especially. Big congratulations to Andrew on a win over a former league winner. Now, if you like the video, make sure you like the video. If you love the video, make sure you subscribe to Go Again Gaming so that you get access to even more of these videos. And if you enjoy what I do, if you enjoy what Az does, if you enjoy all the work that we put in here on Go Again Gaming, all for the love of the game, all for the love of flesh and blood, and all to give you the best CC content that we can put out, comment down below and tell us how much you enjoyed it. But for now, I've been your voice of the league, Ian Holland. You can find me on Blue Sky at findalsspirit.bsky.social or on Twitter at findals_spirit. Always talking flesh and blood, sometimes talking health and fitness, oftentimes just talking absolute arse. And with that lovely note, I love you, I'll leave you, and I will see you in the next one.